Hi, I'm Bill Hitchcock, and in this clip I'm going to show you a few things that you can do with conditional formatting. I think conditional formatting is one of the more powerful tools that they have in Excel, because it used to be what people would do is they'd highlight certain cells and then they'd format them and highlight them and do things like that. But then if the underlying numbers would change, you'd have to go back in there and kind of reformat everything. But conditional formatting takes care of all that. So let me get into our spreadsheet here and show you a few different things that we can do. One of the things I want to do is I want to be able to highlight some of the different regions or dates or items, for example, and we can try some different things. So for instance, I've got these binders in here, and I want to highlight every place that I've got a binder. So what I can do is kind of the old way. First, I'll sort by that column. So here's all my binders. Then I've got desks and pen sets and so on. And what we would do is highlight these cells, binders, go to Home, maybe use the paint fill color. So I could use yellow, for example, and there I've got them, they're highlighted. And what's nice about it is if I sort back in the original order, so let's go back to sort and filter. Let's sort this smallest to largest. You can see there's all the binders and they kind of stick out. So that works fairly well. But the only problem is, for some reason, if this was a mistake, it wasn't supposed to be a binder, it was a pen, well, that still shows up as being bright yellow. So let's undo this. Let's undo my sorting and highlighting some of that. Let's sort this back in the original order and try it a different way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Home. I'm going to click under Conditional Formatting, and I want to make a new rule. And I'm going to choose a rule type where I can sort cells based on their values, only cells that contain, and so on. There's a whole bunch of different rules you can come up with. So I'm going to choose this only cells that contain something that's equal to the word binder. And then I'll choose Format. So when I do that, I can either change the font color, I can change the number format, the borders, fill, etc. I want a fill color. Highlight that. Hit OK. Hit OK. And notice that binder shows up as being yellow. Now I'm going to take that conditional format using my Format Painter tool under the Home tab and format paint all the rest of these records. And notice, just like that, there's all the items that had the word binder, and they show up as being yellow. All right. So there's an idea for you. All right, well, we can make that even a little bit better. All right, so let's highlight all these cells. Let's turn the conditional formatting off. So if I clear the rules, I'll just do it from the entire sheet. My conditional formatting is gone. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on row 1, hold my Shift key, cursor down a cell. I want to insert 2 blank rows above row number 1. So that's why I highlighted these 2. I right-click on it, choose Insert, and then what I want to do here is type in the word pen, for instance. That's what I'm going to be searching for. And I'm going to use my Format Painter just so I have the same font on that. Try conditional formatting, add a new rule, format only cells that contain anything that's equal to, instead of the word pen, I'm going to click on cell E1. And notice it's got $signs around it, so it's always going to reference that cell. It's always going to be column E, it's always going to be row number 1, which in this case, that's fine. Let's choose Format. Again, number, font, border, fill. I'm going under Fill, do a yellow format, hit OK, and it now highlights the word pen. So I'll use my Format Painter here, Format Paint all my items, And if you look, all the pens are now highlighted. But if I go to the top and I want to change this to binder, now I highlight all my binders. If I want the desks, there all the desk records are done. If we would sort this data somehow, find out what's our biggest selling items, you can see it looks as though I don't sell that many desks, and they're highlighted there for me, and that works out. So that's some things that you can do with, and it doesn't just have to be text fields. I could have done that for unit cost and so on, and tried some different things. And in fact, let's give that a try, all right, for our units. I want to highlight anything that's above 50 units. All right, so let's see. Let's choose this format painter just to get that. So it's the same. We'll do conditional formatting, make a new rule, and I would like to format anything where the cell is either greater than or equal to what I typed in cell F1. And if that's true, I'm going to choose just a different color just so you can see something different. We'll make it green. That's a little bit medium. There we go, a little bit lighter. Hit OK. I can change the, let's see, that was the fill color. Let's change the font color too. Make it a dark green. Hit OK. And we've got that. So now let's choose the format painter. Highlight all these cells. And as we scroll through, anything that's greater than or equal to 50 now shows up. All right, let's change our record number. Let's sort this back from smallest to largest. Notice that all of that formatting still stays there. If we change this number, let's highlight anything that's 80 or above. You can see only those items that are 80 and above are being highlighted. All right, one last thing, that there's something that's called color bars, and these are sometimes kind of useful. Sometimes you can get just a little bit too much color in them. If I'm going to look at my gross cost, I want to find some of these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all the gross cost. I'm going to hold my Shift key, hit the End key once, down arrow, go to Conditional Formatting, choose a color scale, and you can choose if you want high numbers to be green, small numbers to be red, or you can do kind of the opposite. High numbers to be red, small numbers to be that. There's a whole bunch of different color scales that you can use depending on what you want to show up. I'm just going to choose this very first one. And right off the bat, we can quickly identify, here's an item that we had gross cost of over $2,000 for. So just by using color, it can help us quickly identify what some of the big items are. Now, I think the color bars work pretty well, especially if you combine this with sorting. So there you can see kind of the gradient as it's changing, and we're getting smaller and smaller numbers, just to give you a relative feel for how that works. Now you can see, the more columns that you do that with, pretty soon you're going to get kind of a pretty hideous looking spreadsheet. But use it where it matters. What are the key numbers that people are looking at? Do they want to have some flexibility, something like this, where let's identify all the units where we're above 75, for example, or above 70, and we can quickly highlight some of that stuff. Combining it with being able to sort, that all is good. And you can try some of these things out with conditional formatting to make your spreadsheets that much more effective. So good luck. Hope that helps, and try out some different techniques.